Welcome to the Sauce Mob. Hit that button that say subscribe and join the ride. You feel me? Okay, chat. The number one conversation since the idea of 2K22 is which current gen or next gen be better. Overall opinion. The most popular opinion is that they're the same game, so you can't really say one is better than the other, but there's a lot of details that make the game different from each other. Number one and the most important difference is the builds you can create. On next gen, your builds can be taller and do a whole lot more, even though the gameplay is the same as current gen. On current gen, your builds are a little more strict and you're forced to stick within your playstyle. Next gen, you can have a couple different playstyles. On current gen, you need to stick to your main archetype or your main pie chart, whatever you want to call it. So that's honestly an opinion as to which game is better, what you would rather prefer. The current gen pie chart, you doing one thing with a build, or the next gen upgrading any attribute, you having complete control and being good at multiple areas. It's up to you. Having a taller player that can do more or having a more strict type player. It's completely up to you. Me personally, after playing both games, I'm level like 14 or 13 on next gen, level like 25, 26 on current gen. Me personally, which one I think is better? I played current gen first, so it feels more natural to me. I played more time on current gen, but my build on next gen is way more fun than my build on current. I have more fun playing next gen because of my build, and I have a way simpler time playing current gen because the game feels so easy. When I'm playing current gen, it feels like I'm not stressing at all. There's no effort involved, and I easily get wins, and we blow teams out naturally. On next gen, there's so many players that can do anything, so it's kind of hard to stop these park players from doing whatever they want, so my games end up being a little closer. You get what I'm saying? My win percentage on current gen is like 80. My win percentage on next gen like 80. I'm winning the same amount of games on both, so I understand the skill gap is in place, but I have a harder time getting wins on next gen than I do on current gen just because builds are more dynamic. My personal opinion out of both games, which one I think is better, I would have to say current gen is the better game because that is what traditional 2K feels like. I don't feel like 2K has properly mastered the PlayStation 5 and Series X version of the game yet, whereas they had the current gen figured out for over a decade. That is the only difference I can take from it. That's why I think current is better, because it just feels more like a solid 2K game, whereas next gen is still feel like they're trying to find the right area as to how to make the next gen game. Each year they're coming up with new ideas how to make your build. They're coming up with new ideas how to work the city. It feel like they're making steps in the right direction, but it's not there yet. You know, it's only their second time doing the next gen. First time they did it, the world was shut down, so they didn't have all access to their tools. So you gotta understand where that's coming from. It's purely a preference. Like I said, my next gen build is way more fun. My current gen feels more relaxing and easier to play. It's completely up to you what you think is better. But me, I would have to say current right now, just off the fact that it feels like more of a complete 2K. What y'all thinking? Let me know down in the comment. Now let's talk about 2K22 as a whole. Next gen and current gen, the gameplay. Gameplay 10 times better than 21. It's exactly what I'm looking for in a game. Defense actually matters. The speed burst you get out of crossovers that I was scared about in next gen is easy to guard. They definitely toned up the whole game. Everything I can imagine came to life. I made a center on next gen, and I gave myself perimeter defense so I can have that lateral quickness to keep up. I'm keeping up with players. That's all I ever asked for, and I got it. I made a center, so I need interior defense. I'm playing interior defense. As long as I'm in the right position, as long as I jump at the right time, I'm getting a block. As 2K was showing us the trailers, they kept showing people get their shot blocked. So I'm kind of thinking like 2K really putting an emphasis on blocking shots this year. So let me max out my block. I maxed out my block. As long as I jump at the right time, I'm blocking every layup and every dunk that comes towards the rim. And it is the most fun thing that's in the game right now. It's a little scary on the 2v2's court because players can be behind you and your player do like a back scratcher or he bring the ball back. It's a block from behind without anybody having chase down artists. But that just forces me to do layups. That just forces me to do my long athletic layup animation because it puts the ball at the rim. Easy adjustment. Instead of going for dunks, I just go for layups now because the person behind me can't get as much of a contest. That's just a simple adjustment that you make mentally. The dribbling in the game feel responsive and fun. I love the dribbling. The only problem with the dribbling is that it's back to 20. People spamming behind the backs, behind screens. On 21, they found out how to nerf it because when you do that behind the back into a player, you will fumble the ball. But they turn down blitzing people. Like you contain the ball even though you're dribbling into an opponent. You can still hold on to the ball, so when you do that behind the back into an opponent, you still have the ball. And that's the only problem I have, because people spamming that 20 behind the back and they shouldn't be getting as open as they are. That's the only problem with it. People spamming the behind the back from 2K20. They fixed it in 21 and now it's broken again. So we dealt with that in 20, so it's nothing new. I'm not surprised, actually. You know, people going to look for an exploit anywhere they can, and the behind the back is the biggest exploit for the guards right now. There's nothing else that I can really say that is hard to cover. That behind the back is just the only thing difficult because they can hide behind screens and they can't fumble the ball once they do it in the wrong direction. Overall, I'm enjoying 21 as a whole. I have no problem playing next gen or current. People ask what I'm really asking the chat which game y'all want me to play, and I'm willing to play both happily. I just want to reach level 40 on current gen because I am at 26. I want to knock that out as quick as possible. Then I want to knock out getting a level 40 on next gen. Then I really gonna be switching between games like hot potato. I'm gonna have no problem doing that. This is a good year of 2K. I have two different options, two completely different game styles because I got a center on next gen and a guard on current gen. It's really best of both worlds and I can't complain. The gameplay is so similar that I can switch between next gen and current gen and not miss a step. They did it absolutely perfectly. They did it absolutely perfectly. I cannot say anything wrong about the game in its current state. Wait till people find exploits and then I'll tell you what's wrong with the game. But right now, I'm enjoying what I'm playing. Winning the games I'm supposed to win, losing games I'm supposed to lose. Players' builds are making sense as to what they're doing. I understand the whole game. I can't even be mad at it. You get what I'm saying? Let me know what your experience with 2K22 is like down in the comments. It makes sense right now. I'm having too much fun.